Should Pittsburgh keep him or trade him?
Absolutely should keep him. I'm appalled by what I'm hearing.
Appalled?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because you know something. Here's my philosophy. I am not trying to absolve Antonio Brown from anything. You got to show up. You can't act petulant or what have you. He needs to be checked. He needs to be dealt with. But last time I checked, we're in the business of trying to win and accumulating talent. And this guy is one of the elite receivers in this game.
Of all time.
Of all time. Over the last 6 years, per season, not average, per season, a minimum of 101 receptions, a minimum of 1,284 yards. I don't want to hear getting rid of this man. I have a philosophy, and I've often said this, and I go back years with Andy Reid, who I love dearly, got a lot of respect for the man and what he did. But I remember when T.O. was causing problems in Philadelphia, and Donovan McNabb, we had the pleasure of him working on this show, and I still miss him because he did a great job for us. Here's the deal. Let me be very, very clear. Donovan McNabb and I used to get in arguments over this. You know, T.O. or Payne or T.O. this or T.O. that or whatever. And I used to go like this. So are you trying to win or not? Figure it out. I'm not trying to absolve Antonio Brown from anything. I'm simply saying Big Ben Roethlisberger is getting a pass on all of this. He's been at the core of some of these problems as well. He hasn't been an angel in all of this. You don't sit up there and go against, I forgot whether it was Denver or whomever. We should have thrown every pass to Juju Smith-Schuster. Really? With Antonio Brown on the field? How do you think that he's going to absorb that when he's been balling with you for the last several years? I don't like what AB has done to Mike Tomlin. I got a problem with that. But in the same breath, let me be very clear. This man is an elite talent, and if you ain't playing, you coaching and you running an organization, if everybody's got to be quiet boys and you get to hug them and sing Kumbaya with them, what the hell are you supposed to be doing? You got work it out.
Look,
that's all I'm saying. Work it out.
If there was another quarterback on the roster who was clearly a legitimate franchise quarterback, then maybe you do move on from Big Ben if he's causing problems. They don't have that. You know what they do have, though? They have Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, let me start by saying Antonio Brown is not only maybe the best receiver in football right now, he's clearly one of the best who ever lived. He has put up the most consistently great numbers year in and year out over the longest span since Jerry Rice. He is doing ridiculous things. And like Jerry Rice, they're more talented guys, but he's outworking everybody, and he's also clutch under pressure, the whole thing. Here's the thing. Number one, Juju Smith-Schuster is a legit number one. The eyeball test tells me that. It's not just because he's playing on the opposite side of Antonio Brown. So you have another number one. And in a league with a hard cap, redundancy sometimes, especially if that guy's now a problem, you don't need it. Two, you're going to get a first-round pick back for Antonio Brown. That is a high upside talent, low cost, because you'll be on a rookie contract pick. Again, it affects the salary cap, which you need to redistribute to, you have to distribute your resources wisely in the NFL hard cap. Three, well, that was the cap room point. And finally, it's addition by subtraction. If it's really a problem in the locker room, if coaches there stay off social media and you're putting that on social media and things have gotten worse since then, you sometimes got to move on. I think we're there with the Steelers.
Yeah, I think, look, you're onto some great things there, Stephen A., about the fact that there's a lot of things that have kind of led to where they are right now from a culture perspective and a chemistry perspective in this locker room. And it's not all just Antonio Brown, okay? Evidence suggests, circumstantial and otherwise, that it's not just him. We know that. But you know that management is always going to take the path of least resistance, so to speak, meaning this. What is it easier to replace as far as if you're going to move on from a mercurial superstar talent? They're going to move on from the wide receiver before they move on from the quarterback. It's just the way it's going to be, whether we like it or not, okay? And there is a track record of the Pittsburgh Steelers being able to draft and develop wide receivers as well as any team in the NFL.
That's true.
Remember, they had Emmanuel Sanders at one time. They have guys like Plaxico Burress. They have guys like Mike Wallace. They have guys like Antonio Brown. They found Juju Smith-Schuster. They'll believe that they can get it. That's right. They'll believe they can find another person. And I'm not discounting Antonio Brown's statistics and his accomplishments so far at all, because people who have been inside of that organization have told me no one plays the game and prepares for the game harder than him. Nobody. They said that about him and Le'Veon Bell. Now, as far as football character and how it fits into the grand scheme of things, there's a problem. Oh, there's a big problem, and I'll tell you this. It's very rare that you see the Pittsburgh Steelers at the very top come out and speak out the way they did. This is a very linear organization. Owners own, managers manage, coaches coach, and players play. They don't step over one another.
Wait, I got to say one thing. Antonio Brown, we all heard that he's a diva, right? And he's not a great teammate. We've all heard those rumors. I've never spoke to him. He might be a fantastic guy. It could be all lies. At the end of the day, you got to point the finger at the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. Le'Veon Bell did not play the entire season, and now you might deal Antonio Brown. These are the top players
number one guys
in the league.
Sure.
So it can't just be on the
Well,
player.
but it's not, and that's what I'm about. This is what I'm about.
Well.
This is what I'm about to say. Okay, the guy who can affect the most positive change for this football team, more so than anyone, is Mike Tomlin. Mike is going to be the one who this offseason is going to have to reevaluate exactly how he managed his squad and how much he let them get outside of the framework of what he wanted to accomplish and how much he needs to bring it back in.
I understand that. But I think it's important to remind you of the point that you made earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Usually if somebody's got to go, it's going to be the receiver before the quarterback, etc. Unless Big Ben Roethlisberger walked into the Steelers front office and said, I want out unless you get rid of him, there's nothing to talk about here. I'm not aware that that's what Big Ben has done.
Right.
Now, if he did that, it's a different discussion because we're asking you to make a decision. And even then, it would be debatable only because there have been times in the past that Ben Roethlisberger has given us an indication that he's ready to step away from the game. So I would need to know that you want to play. But in the end, what it comes down to is that if Big Ben Roethlisberger has not walked into the front office and said, I want out, or unless you get rid of Antonio Brown, then as far as I'm concerned, Antonio Brown is under contract. He is elite. Figure it out. Tomlin, figure it out. Colbert, figure it out. Rooney the second. Run the damn organization.